I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good day, Dave Lukas. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful day?
I am doing excellent, and it's great to be on with you and all of your audience out there.
Well, that's wonderful. It's a great pleasure to connect with you. Please do tell us which of your talents, or before that, where are you in the world right now?
Actually, today I'm in Columbus, Ohio. I split time between Columbus, Ohio, and San Diego, but typically throughout the month I'm traveling different places. So I'm fortunate that get to see and meet and work with a lot of amazing people.
That's wonderful, wonderful. Tell us which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time.
We actually connected on LinkedIn. So I'd say actually consistency, staying consistent in what I do and in my messages that I share on a daily basis. At some point, caught both of our attention probably, and that's how we connected.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, it's like a misfit, right?
That's right.
Tell us about the podcast, please.
Sure. So the Misfit Entrepreneur was actually born for giving myself an outlet, but it was the inspiration for it was my daughter. My wife and I adopted our daughter from China about 4 years ago now, and coming home, starting to teach her and all that stuff. I was fortunate in my younger days to learn with a lot of the greats that the Zig Ziglars of the world, the Brian Tracy's, and people like that. And I found myself in these teaching situations having all of these unique memories come back to me that I had totally forgotten about, of all the things that I had done. And so I said, there's got to be a way to immortalize all this amazing information for my daughter Hannah from her daddy and his misfit friends. And so that's kind of how it all started, and just went from there. And every entrepreneur is a misfit. So it's about finding that unique inner talent and inner, just amazing, whether it's strategy, habit, secret that people have figured out to make themselves successful. And that's what we do on the show. And we share that with the world.
That's amazing. Wow. Who would have thought, right? Like
Yeah.
the way that connected. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, she's not, how old is she?
She's 5.
Wow.
And the idea was to just leave something behind for, even someday after I'm dead and gone, hopefully there's some great information that's timeless that she can use to better her life. And thankfully others in the world have been really excited to see it, use it, and share it as well. So.
Yeah, most definitely. Even before you're dead, like just being on the bed before death, it's really a grand opportunity to think about what you've done and reflect and know that you have achieved so much by even what you're doing on your podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. The amazing thing is the wonderful, just incredible people that I get to meet and work with, and the stories that you hear. It's just, it is truly incredible what people go through to reach their dreams, their goals, their vision, and how they do it. And that's some of the fun of hearing these people and their stories and everything on the show as well.
Mm. Well, just like with you and just like with me, there have been the challenges and there will continue to be the challenges. Why will you still continue to repeat these skills, Dave?
It really goes to being an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, you have to understand how to play the long and the short game and realize that really, consistency, perseverance, and having that will and that mantra that you're never going to give up on the path to your vision is just so critical to succeed. It's really this understanding that keeps you going and doing what you know you need to do, even when you don't feel like it or you don't want to. And I learned this skill really from life. I think that's one of the best teachers, and from studying other successful entrepreneurs.
Now, what's one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years?
I have really worked hard. I have a very rigid schedule on how I plan my week, my day, and creating my daily prime and to-do list. And that has made a huge, tremendous impact in my ability to get things done, and my productivity and effectiveness. And so structure is freedom. So the more structure that you can put into your life and how you do things, what you will do, what you won't do, it's amazing what you can accomplish. And ultimately, it is amazing how much you do have freedom because you are deliberate about your success.
Structure is freedom. Love that. How does it make you feel?
It makes me feel great. It makes me feel strong. It really it motivates me because I know exactly what I'm doing from sun up to sundown every single day and how it fits into my vision of where I'm going. And that fuels me every time I check a task off the list that gets me closer, to that goal and to that vision or what I'm working on. It fuels it and makes you want to get there much faster, right? So it kind of really gives me everything I need to continue to succeed.
It's as though you have a grasp on things, right?
Yes, that we do. No pun intended, since Grass Technologies is my largest company.
Yeah, I was actually going to say pun intended. Tell us about Grasp, please.
Sure. Grass Technologies is actually founded by my business partner, Eric Mueller, one of the most amazing guys I've ever met. And he and I connected in 2004, and when Grass was really just a holdings company. And we kind of hit it off, got to chatting, and decided, hey, it's something we could really put a business around. And now here we are. We call it the 20-year overnight success, but we're the largest provider of business intelligence and data management solutions in the travel industry. So we do a lot of unique things, but it's all about moving, managing, and visualizing data so that it can be used to make effective decisions in business. And so that's what we do with clients all over the world in over 100 countries on a daily basis.
Well done, well done. Where's the best place for someone to connect with that information?
Best place, you can go to grasptech.com, grasptech.com, or you can just connect with me as either Misfit Entrepreneur or Dave Lukas across Twitter and all the social, LinkedIn, everywhere.
Amazing audience. You're hearing it live here from Dave Lukas, again, the podcast host of The Misfit Entrepreneur. Dave, let's switch gears for a moment now and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Dave, what is your earliest childhood memory?
I don't know about the earliest, but I do have some pretty vivid ones. Let me tell you about you talked about the Caribbean. Let me tell you when I got lost in the Bahamas for 2 hours when I was 4.
Yeah,
So I actually remember I'm at the pool with my mom and dad, playing. We're at a hotel, in the beach and everything. And my grandfather had gone off to go, I think, to the casino. And so I'm standing there 1 minute and kind of in my own little world. And in that moment, I know now, my father had to take my little brother to change him at that time, he was a baby, and told me to go with my mom in the pool. Well, I didn't listen or didn't hear it. And so, as he urged me toward her, I didn't even, really see her or anything like that. And he went to take my brother, and, I'm standing there and just said, okay, well, where'd everybody go? So I actually started, retracing my steps. I went back to our hotel room, and nobody was there. So I knew my grandfather had gone to the casino. So I actually went and walked into the casino, a little 4-year-old in his bathing suit, walked into the casino, walking around. And, there was, I couldn't find him there. So I started heading back, down the beach, towards the pool and everything. And that's when this whole group of people, like 80 people, came running from all directions on the beach. They were looking for me. It'd been about, at this point, like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. And, I remember watching and seeing my grandmother come swimming out of the ocean because she, I was actually a pretty good swimmer back then. So they wanted to see if I somehow, went in the ocean,
Wow.
and so here comes my dad and mom running down the beach with my little brother in their arms, and, obviously scared to death, yet, very, very happy at the same time.
Yeah.
So, that was it's a pretty vivid one that I still remember.
It was definitely. How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today?
For me, it was like an adventure. I was never really scared. I was just methodically going from one option to the next option and figuring out my way, which, I think that's a good lesson for life, or even entrepreneurs, or just, really anybody, is that, you just never know what you're going to get hit with. And to not panic, and as a 4-year-old, maybe I didn't even know not to panic, but to not panic and just methodically go from, okay, that doesn't work. How can we make it work? What's the next option? And keep going. And, I think that translates into the consistency side and all that stuff. So, I think it was in some ways a very scary incident for the family, but one that maybe, has stuck with me because it prepared me for life in some ways.
Can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Sure.
I love the idea that you went from the money to the family.
Yeah, I think that is a great point.
Just like with what you're doing with your daughter, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's, I think if you, in anything you do, and this has really gotten crystallized in my life, over the years. Perspective, I think, as you grow older and you have more experience and stuff, I think perspective, really becomes important. And I think if you're going to do anything, you have to have a very, very strong, crystal clear, know exactly what it is, unequivocally why you're doing it. And I think that's the bedrock of any really great thing that you're going to do. And if you can find that and you can get that in your life, then that's what will keep you going through everything and help you reach it. And that's I can absolutely say that my why with my daughter for the podcast. I mean, I don't have to do the podcast. I've got multiple different businesses, and the podcast is an outlet more than anything. But the why is what keeps me going each and every week with it. And even in times where I said, gosh, I don't really need to do this, do I? And just reflecting back on, no, I said I'd do this because I wanted to leave this behind for her. Is just is that rock that you build upon. So.
I love it. You were speaking there, and one of the images that were created in my mind was the letter Y and how it's structured, and it's just like an antenna, if you would, really plugging out what is inside of you, right? So like if you attached the Y via your mouth or your head, parts of you that extend who you are, what you've experienced, it's really amazing how the why is truly important.
It is. I would totally agree with that.
If we fast forwarded to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
Oh gosh, favorite song when I was 12. Thinking back, in fact, I'm looking at a picture of myself with Steven Tyler, because my uncle used to actually run marketing for Gibson Guitar back then.
Wow.
And so I had a private meet and greet with Steven Tyler when he was on the Get a Grip tour. So Living on the Edge was a big song back then. And then as I think kind of about that time, another song that just was catchy at the time that I liked was totally different genre, Hip Hop Parade by Naughty Men.
There we go. Well, you do have a bit of naughtiness by nature. I mean, you did leave them. You could have gone and found your grandfather, right? But hey, naughtiness by nature.
Yes, they would. My family would tell you that I was always into something when I was a kid, and even I think my kindergarten teacher wrote on one of my papers and sent it home to my mom, David does not listen. So that's paid off as the years have gone on now, I think.
The misfit. Well, we love it. Well, Dave, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there is a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Dave?
Yes.
Dave, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yeah, I think you guys can probably know what that is now. It's my daughter, Hannah. Yeah. If she'll take them. But yes.
Are you married?
I am.
You have your daughter. Do you believe in God?
Absolutely.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes, I do.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No, I mean maybe 30 minutes a day, if that.
What about screen time, the phone and the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
I'd say less. I think I do very strategic sprints in how I do things, and then take breaks. And take breaks for like fitness and everything for an hour and a half in the morning and all that. So I'd say less.
All right. Dave, if you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Dave Lukas, what would you say that is?
I believe that the human spirit is one of the greatest forces ever created, and that my mission in life is to help people unleash theirs and the true potential inherent in it. And I'd say you unleash that by understanding that your beliefs lead to your thoughts, and your thoughts ultimately lead to your emotions and feelings, and those emotions and feelings lead you to act, and those actions really determine your results. And if you really take out the middle of all of that, what you get is that what you clearly believe translates to your results. So an individual with a clear vision, mission, and belief in their purpose, their why, is more powerful than an army of people who never learn the secret. So my mission is to help people realize that and put it into action in their lives.
Love it. Thanks for sharing that, my friend. Dave, Lukas, again, great pleasure. Thank you, my friend, for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.